Hey everybody, Rez the Collector here. Today we're going to be doing a showdown match on a review of the new 52 Superman, the DC Collectibles, and the Mattel version. We're going to weigh some pros and cons here on both figures. I know you're all thinking that the DC Collectibles is going to win hands down, and that might be the case, but there are a few things that the Mattel has over it. So let's go ahead and take a closer look at each figure. First, we've got the DC Collectibles here, and the figure is an amazing sculpt. It's probably one of the best Superman sculpts out there. My second, or I guess close tie to this, would be the classic Icons Justice League Superman. But let's go ahead and take a closer look here. The head sculpt is kind of cocky, and I've heard it called different things, but it is a good sculpt overall. The hair is nice. The way that it kind of separates and it's got that little bit of ruffled look is pretty cool. The S is awesome on this figure. It's very well done, very defined, and the paint job is just great. They did a really great job with the new 52 costume here. All the piping on here, the belt. Now, I don't know if you can see it, but my figure does have a little splash of red there on that left leg right under the belt. It's one of a couple of defects on here. And then you go down. The boots are very well done. And then we come along to the back here, and we do have the black S. And I do like that the cape has more movability to it than a lot of the other costumes, or a lot of the other figures that we'll see. Let's go ahead and put him down and take a look at his Mattel counterpart. Now, the paint job isn't that bad on here. This is the metallic version. I do have the matte version as well. I still have him in package though, and I'm not going to pull him out. I've got a duplicate of this metallic version, so I felt fine with opening one for display. Now, first off, in taking a look at the figure, one of my biggest issues with it is the head. The sculpt itself is fine, but the head seems to me to be disproportionately small to the body. It looks like they put like a little shrunken head on him. The paint job on here isn't bad. I mean, it's a pretty decent paint job. They got the costume pretty good. The piping, of course, on here, not anywhere near as detailed as on the DC Collectibles figure. And of course we do have the cape here, and this is a very stiff cape. This is also a reissue cape. They basically reuse this cape. I have seen it on other figures. The classic Superman, where there was a yellow S on the back. I don't like the way that, I don't know if it's just mine or all of them, they made the S a little too big and then basically cut the corners here on it, so it just kind of cuts off. The cape does not have much flexibility at all. It is very stiff and not really going to be something that you can pose very well. Now, for posing, this is where the DC Collectibles really falls short. The posing is very limited on this figure. You don't have much articulation. Of course, you've got the knees, you've got the hips, you've got biceps, elbows, and to a very small extent, shoulders. Those shoulders, and again, maybe it's just mine, I don't think so though, from the other reviews I've seen, the shoulders don't really rotate very well. So while you can move the biceps and get some posing there, if you really want to get some good outstretched things, it's kind of hard to do with the DC Collectibles figure. We're going to go ahead and just do a little moving here. I really need to get a tripod. and make this a lot easier. So the biceps move, but that shoulder joint has issues. It really does. There's also the issue of the hands. I guess I've kind of gotten used to the rotation on some of the Mattel figures, and even some of the other DC Collectibles or its predecessor, DC Direct. Now this is where the actual Mattel figure shines. It has a great deal of posability. Its arms are basically 360 motions. That would be my phone ringing. Of course, it has the torso articulation, and then it has the really nice leg articulation. You can really get some great poses, because not only does it have the back and forth motion with the hips, but it does have the ability to extend the legs out. It does have hand rotation here, as well as elbow, bicep, and shoulder. Now, I've noticed on both this one, I thought it was when I had actually taken it from the package, but in looking at the other one I have, it seems they are having some issues with that left ankle joint being kind of broke. I mean, it still functions, but it looks a little jacked up. Now, of course, we've got the ankle, we've got the knees, we've got thigh, we've got hip rotation of both back and forward and side to side. We've got, of course, the middle of the body rotation from side to side, and then the upper torso ab articulation. And it's got pretty good rotation on the head as well. Another thing that the DC Collectibles figure is lacking is good head movement. Basically, we can go down from this point or up, but I can't really get it to go any higher than that there. So it's kind of difficult. He doesn't really have the ability to kind of look up in that iconic Superman pose, you know, where he's kind of gazing out to the sky. The other thing I did notice on my Superman here is, I don't know if you can see the imperfection there on the jaw. I was a little disappointed with some of the imperfections on the figure. I mean, the paint job itself, the way it was designed is great. There is that little splash of red there, and then there is that imperfection there on the jaw. Now for the winner here. It is a close call. It's only a close call because of the amount of posability you can get out of the Mattel figure. If the DC Collectibles figure had even just a little bit more of flexibility and the ability to put them into different poses for display, it would be hands down. Now, the DC Collectibles, in my opinion, does still win. Just the sculpt itself is amazing. It's bigger than the Mattel figure, and it doesn't have that weird Beetlejuice shrunken head thing going on. I do actually prefer the facial expression on the 7-pack, which I do have, but I do have that mint in box. I'm not planning on opening that one up. And I've actually got another of the DC Collectibles Superman single card mint in box as well. But yeah, hands down, not a clear winner, but edging out is going to be the DC Collectibles Superman, just for how, I mean, badass it looks. Even with its limited posability, that is a badass figure. Alright, well, this has been the versus for the Superman New 52. I'm going to try and get some other videos up. I do have the Flash, Mattel, and the Flash in the 7-pack multi-pack. I'm not going to open them, but we will be taking a look at them in package, because we can still get a very good idea of the differences in the figures, the piping and all of that. So that's a video that's going to be coming. I've also got the same with Batman. I've got the Mattel and the 7-pack. I've also got the new Trinity War with the Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman coming, and of course the Superman and Wonder Woman that are variants. The color scheme for Superman, and it's got a different head sculpt for Wonder Woman. At this point, I don't know if I'm going to be removing them from package. I tend to not. But even if they're in package, we can still get a pretty good look at them. So look for those videos to be coming, and thanks for watching.